Alright, so welcome back. If there's one skill that can make or break a leader, it's communication. Whether you're leading a team, pitching investors, or delivering tough decisions, the way you communicate directly impacts how people see you and whether they follow your lead. So, in today's lesson, we're breaking down what it really means to communicate like a CEO. Second is the three key elements of powerful leadership communication. And of course, real world examples from Steve Jobs, Sheryl Sandberg, and Barack Obama. And most importantly, how you can apply these skills to lead your business with confidence. So let's dive in. Let me tell you a story first. When I first started managing multiple teams and businesses, I realized one thing. I wasn't just a CEO. I was the central nervous system of communication. Everything passed through me, client updates, team concerns, or random messages from different departments and strategic inputs from directors. And I needed a system because without one, things slipped. Balls were dropped. Important messages got buried under the noise. So here's what I do, and I still do it every day. I treat all communication like an input. Doesn't matter if it's from upper, mid, or lower part of the organization. Everything gets acknowledged and dumped into what I call a communication inbox. So that could be a task checklist, a specific tag in my email, or even just a section of my physical notebook. But the key here is I don't keep it in my head. If you try to store communication in your brain, you're setting up yourself for failure. And you're setting up to forget things, especially the small, important ones. If a message takes me less than 30 seconds to respond to, I'll reply immediately. That's low-hanging fruit. But the rest, I batched it. During my day planning, I go through my communication inbox. Every item, I tag it, respond, delegate, or track. If it's important, it's getting tracked. If it's not for me, I delegate. And if it requires deep thought, I calendar it. So this is how CEOs operate. We process inputs. We don't react to them. We create space to think, to lead, and to make decisions. If you're not managing your inputs, you are not leading. You're just surviving. And survival mode is not a long-term strategy. Alright, so most people think communication is just about talking well or being good in public speaking. But CEO level communication is so much more than that. It's about inspiring action or getting people excited to move forward. It's about bringing clarity so there's no confusion about direction. And it's about building trust so people believe in your vision. When you master CEO level communication, you don't just give information, you influence and inspire. So let's look at how top leaders do this. First up, Steve Jobs. So Jobs was famous for taking complex technical ideas and turning them into simple, clear, and inspiring messages. So here's why he was a master communicator. First is he told compelling stories. So instead of saying the iPod has 1 gigabytes of storage, he said 1,000 songs in your pocket. Second, he spoke with confidence. So every keynote he gave was delivered with clarity, precision, and passion. Third is he made people feel something. His words weren't just informative, they were inspiring. So the takeaway here is great communication isn't about sounding smart. It's about making things simple, relatable, and memorable. Next is let's talk about Sheryl Sandberg. She's a former COO of Meta or Facebook. She's known for her clear, no-nonsense communication style that gets straight to the point. So here's what makes her an effective communicator. First is she's direct but approachable. She does not sugarcoat things, but she also does not intimidate. Second is she simplifies complex issues. Whether she's talking about business growth or gender equality, she breaks it down in a way anyone can understand. Third is she's practical. She always provides actionable advice, not just theories. So takeaway here is if you want people to listen and act, be clear, be direct, and give them something they can use immediately. So lastly, let's look at Barack Obama, one of the best public speakers of our time. So what makes him such a powerful communicator? First is he speaks with controlled confidence. His tone is calm, steady, and deliberate. So he pauses for impact. Instead of rushing through his points, he gives his audience time to absorb what he's saying. And then third is he connects emotionally. He doesn't just list facts. He tells stories. He tells stories that make people feel something. So takeaway is your tone, pacing, and emotional connection matter just as much as your words. So again, in general, how do you communicate like a CEO? So again, here's a simple framework to follow. First is manage your inputs like a system, not a sponge. As a CEO, I don't let communication happen by chance. I treat every message, whether it's a DM, Slack ping, email, or even sticky note, as an input. So here's what I do. So every input gets acknowledged and routed into a central communication inbox. This can be a digital task manager, a tagged email folder, or even a section of my notebook. I never trust my brain to store these things. It's built for creativity, not storage. Again, if a message takes less than 30 seconds to answer, I reply right away. But if it requires thinking, delegation, or tracking, I batched it. So during my daily planning, I process that inbox. Important ones, I tag and follow up. Tasks, delegated. FYIs, filed or deleted. Managing inputs isn't just about staying organized. It's about staying clear. Because when you don't control your inputs, your message becomes noise. Second is be clear and concise. Get to the point quickly. Instead of long explanations, break it down into simple, powerful statements. Avoid jargons. Speak in a way anyone can understand. Next, use the power of storytelling. People remember stories, not bullet points. Use real-life examples to make your message stick. Connect ideas to emotions, whether it's excitement, urgency, or motivation. Then lastly, control your presence and delivery. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. Speak with confidence. Your team takes cues from your energy. Use pauses for impact. Don't rush through important points. Then maintain eye contact and open body language. So this builds trust. So the best communicators don't just inform, they inspire, clarify, and lead. So now that you know what makes great leaders powerful communicators, it's time to put this into action. This is a CEO communication playbook that will help you identify your personal communication style, craft clear, concise, and compelling messages, and use storytelling and body language effectively. Great leaders aren't just talkers, they influence, inspire, and lead with their words. So, are you ready to start communicating like a CEO? And let's move on to the next lesson.